What is up, everyone? JD here. Hope you're doing well today. Got a review for you. We're going to be looking at the Kizer Brat. Let's get into it. All right, so I have the Kizer Brat on the table. What we're going to be doing is we're going to do some profile comparisons for size reference. We're going to check the weight on this one, and then we'll jump into the full review. So let's go ahead and kick it off with some size comparisons. Here it is against the Migaron Moyarl and the Civivi Vision FG. You can tell this is definitely a full-size knife for sure, like that. Let's put the Migaron to the side and bring out a sub 3-inch knife. We'll bring out the Devo Knives Pony Stout. As you can see, definitely a full-size knife. We don't even need to go any further. We're just going to compare it to the full-size knives from a profile comparison and get into the weight. And I am super excited to get into the review of this one here. Here it is against the Vision FG, and as you can see, just a skosh thicker, not too much. And then we'll check it out against the Migaron Moyarl, and you can see those are comparable as far as thickness. Now, even though this is an integral piece, it's not too terribly weighty. It still feels like they were able to bring it in around 3.5. So 3.6 ounces. So we'll call that pretty close to 3.5 ounces. Not bad at all. Let me jump into my thoughts on this particular knife. I really like that they did this. I'm hoping they'll do some G-Mascus or some different colorways. I think this is really cool and an interesting way to bring integral handles into the budget world so that folks that might not be able to afford a premium version of this are able to kind of check out an integral and see what it's all about. One of the advantages to that is its strength and design really does make this hand filling. It's seamless. You have no breaks whatsoever, so visually it's very aesthetic and it's designed super well. G10, very, very strong. You feel no flex whatsoever, so I think this was a good material to use for this particular build. And ergonomically, they designed it so that it has a very neutral handle, very comfortable in hand. The G10 back here has plenty of ribbing, so you get palm traction on the palm with that ribbing. I appreciate that a lot. This is a smooth G10 though, so it doesn't have a lot of roughness on it. If you actually look at it against the Moyarl, you can see that there is texturing on the Moyarl, whereas this is a smooth G10. Because of the nature of G10 though, it's not a slick material, so it still gives plenty of traction. You have that flipper tab there that acts like a finger guard, and then I fit comfortably 4 fingers on there. Well, might be a little bit snug now that I'm looking at it, but I'm not hanging off the back. So I like that a lot. The thickness on here I feel is appropriate. This pocket clip works really well. Goes in and out of the pocket really good. I like this design a lot. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the bug out, the way that the bug out's designed, or kind of sort of like the 80-20, where the 80-20 is offset, but it has the outside pocket clips here instead of the ones that go internally, and it works really well. Not reversible. Not sure why they didn't want to do it reversible, because it kind of looks like they milled out to allow for the screws to go into that side. Maybe it was just something that they couldn't accomplish or was hard to accomplish, or I'm not really sure how they got those in there. So maybe the tool would have to go in either way, but maybe once it went in, they couldn't flip it over to get it to the other side because those little rivets are in the way. I'm not 100% sure. Let me see, what else? There's no lockup. You have little steel insert tabs here that they push down in and fastened in, and then the pivot kind of helps keep that in place. So that's what your bearings are riding on. The button is slightly raised. It's raised slightly, but it does not interfere with you holding the knife. Even left-handed, I know it's a little hard to tell because it's black, but it's in this little pocket here. I'm not touching it at all. They have 154 cm blade steel, which is a steel you all know that I really like in the budget realm. It's very well rounded. And Kizer, they do a really good job with this static wash. They could have probably pelted it a little bit more, but it looks really good and it's really well done. And this has a nice thin geometry on it. Really, really thin and slicey. It came with a good factory edge. 154 cm is holding up well. Here's the name, and you can see it's an Ezo design. 154 cm, and the Kizer is very faint, even though it's on a part of the blade that I don't normally like. They made it faint enough to where it's not standing out or it's too obvious. The detent on this is nice. It has a big old flipper tab. I kind of wish it was a little bit smaller and not quite as far out as the Praxis, but I really like the on this Sentinel Strike, the one that's on the Sentinel Strike. I'm trying to think of another Civivi that has a flipper tab too. I can't think of one right now. What is that one that oh, the Riffle. I liked the one on the Riffle a lot too. But this works. It works. It's not too obtrusive. It does stick out a little bit, but not awful. You're able to really light switch this very easily, and it has the flat top up here so you can push button. I would say it's a little bit lighter on the light switch, a little bit tougher on that push button if you like to deploy your knives like that. And then you can always use that button lock. The button clutch feels a little light on this model. It has some stick, but it has absolutely no play. Absolutely no play. It is locked up solid. Stop pin is in here, which makes me wonder. Oh, okay. So I bet the stop pin stops directly on these steel liners. This is a Londen knife. I forgot to mention that. Shout out and thanks to Lefty for allowing me to be a part of the pass around group. So I cannot disassemble this. This is not my knife. But I'm betting that stop pin that we see on the other side is in perfect like stops to where this can drop in with it and then screw into place. And I bet those stop pins, the stop pin, and I bet the button lock, I bet you drop it out. And then I bet the button lock comes up through here some kind of way. Actually, you might not need to remove the button. Yes, you would. You would need to remove the button to take those steel liners out. Not mine to take apart to see, though. So we won't be finding out in this video. If somebody would like to donate one, send it in. Let me do that. Be happy to. But this is a really cool knife. And the best part about it is they were able to build all of this for under $100. It's coming in at 90 even, I wrote down. I wonder if it's like $89.99 or something like that, but I wrote 90 down. This is a really interesting knife for the price point. Alternative recommendation, if you don't like the size of it, you want something sleeker, again, it's going to be the two that I brought out for the comparison. It's going to be the Moyarl and 14C28N, which I absolutely love, and then my Vision FG, which I did a small cut test. It was moderate, but I did a little cut test with my Nitro V, and it held up well. I mean, it's exactly what I expected to see out of the steel. So these are, you got a super lock here, which is going to be your best lock on the table if you're using the knife hard. If you don't like button locks, the Moyarl is going to be an interesting option. Or if you like a larger knife, the Valona comes in 14C28N for around the same price as the Moyarl. Really, really interesting knife. What are your thoughts on the Brat? And if they offer G-Mascus or other colorways, would you pick the one up if you didn't get in on the blacked out handle? I think it's very interesting. I think if they did some G-Mascus colors or something like that, without raising the price, I probably would snatch one up. That's how much I like it. Leave it down in the comments below and let me know. And shout out to everyone out there that leaves the likes, the comments, that is subscribed. I appreciate all the support and I love you guys. I hope you have a fantastic week. Until next time, peace.